new episode, know you probably waiting. Plant a seed in your brain, let me pollinate it. And I'm not like the rest, I don't do the faking. You are now tuned into Bro Conversations. Just to get some goddamn backstory. We was talking about your albums, right, last week or a couple days ago, and your collection and shit. And it's crazy because all the albums in your collections, in your whole like little collection, I've never like seen or heard it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, like the music I got over there?
Yeah. It's been some pictures and even artists that I've never even heard of. I think that's super dope.
Yeah, I got some old school stuff, and then some of it is like small stuff that I heard in record shops that I picked up. Like, there's a rock album over there, and it was like some British, like crazy punk heavy rock shit. And I just heard it and I was like, fuck it, that thing's hilarious. Right. And so I scooped that thing up.
Well, cool. I'm glad. Before we even get into what we're about to talk about, when do you remember the first record you bought? Or was gifted with or whatever?
Ooh, the first record I bought? I probably do. Let me think about that. It might have been for that collection over there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was it. Like, I think because it was when I went to California.
Jesus Christ Superstar?
Not the Jesus Christ Superstar, but here, I'll grab it even. Show it off.
Might as well.
Might as well.
Because it's so crazy, because, like, I always admire people who had, like, music, like, in vinyl or whatever, like that. And I've always had kind of, like, damn, one day I want to do that, you know? Because I thought about doing the same thing for, like, TV shows that are no longer here, like Static Shock. We talked about that a little while ago.
Hell yeah.
Like Static Shock, because I don't know if it's on streaming services like Amazon or whatever. Which it probably is. I just got to do some looking, but you know what I'm saying. So what's this called?
This is Subhuman. And, I think that's the... Yeah. So the band is called Subhumans. And it's just their Demolition War EP. And I just heard this shit like playing in there. And it was pretty funny.
You thought it was funny?
I thought it was funny. It was like kind of hardcore, but I was also like, I was laughing my ass off at how like British the shit was.
Yeah.
But some of it's good and some of it's just like...
You think it's classic?
It's kind of a classic. It's definitely like some old school, I think like 90s rock shit.
Mm-hmm.
I got some others like Steve Miller Band and stuff like that. You know, they're definitely classics and whatnot. But
oh yeah,
it was the Subhuman and some of these Steve Miller Bands were like the first one that I like first albums that I copped and picked up.
That's dope. And you remember what year that was, or how old you were?
Shit, I was like 18. It was right because then I could fly on a plane alone and all that shit. And so I went to go see Mo. And actually, this might have been the first one, because I got this as just for a fucking video game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for, like, Death Stranding. And I might have been, like...
Wait, it was like a package?
It was for a video game, and the record came out years beforehand.
Oh, wow, I like the way that looked.
And it was for a video game. So it was more like a beautiful record, but the music does play on it.
From the video game?
But it's from the video game, yeah.
It's like some Halo type shit or something?
So it's the guy that made Metal Gear Solid.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've ever played those, but those are like classics. Guy's name is Kojima.
That's dope.
Oh, yeah.
Well, shit. Fast forward to the conversation we was having. That was a dope little backstory. I'm surprised we never talked about that. You put me on. I asked you what was the best album, I think, or what you thought was the best, I believe, a couple days ago, and you said it's an album called Jesus Christ Superstar, I believe.
Yes, you are correct.
And it came out in like 70, 73 or whatever.
Yeah.
And he told me that they had like a drama that was just straight this. It was like just scenes from the music. They played it from top to bottom. And I really have a like good big connection with stuff like that, because I listen to like shit, or at least just in recent history, like the last shit album I done heard shit was like that. It was the Black Panther album.
Oh yeah.
But I think Kendrick Lamar he produced it or whatever. Not the music, but I think he put all the people together or whatever. Maybe an executive producer or whatever. And I really thought that shit was dope. But they didn't even play all the good songs on the album. They just only played the hits, which I understood and shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. And like I said, you asked me if I wanted to watch it, and I'm glad I said yes because that shit was most definitely interesting, and it really I love shit that make you think. Obviously, that's why that's why I fuck with you. I think right because you always think of some shit a totally different way, and you be like, no, I thought Igor meant this and this. I was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, ever since I was like, damn, like. And it's not dumb takes. It's valid, you know.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
bro.
for sure.
I was really excited that you wanted to see that shit because it's different, and it's a piece of fucking writing that's like.
And it's so crazy. You being it's so crazy us being this age. Like we're not super fucking. I don't want to assume but we're not super fucking religious.
I'm agnostic.
Oh yeah,
how I consider myself. So
what's that mean?
So it means like I believe. But I'm unsure, you know what I mean? I don't know if there's a God, you know, yes or no. You know, I it's more for people who don't want to be like, no, because it's not saying I don't believe. Like, I believe, but I'm unsure, and I don't have, like, a church or anything, or any association with the church.
Right.
And that's what it means. It means, like, so for me, it just means that I can believe in God without having to be a part of, like, a church or anything.
Yeah.
And, because to me, it's like, I don't know. Some of the shit and the history with the church, I'm like, I don't vibe with.
Right. And it's so crazy because like I give it a chance, but I don't know. A specific religion, but it's like all religions that I look at, they all look down on they basically all preach pacifism, and you know, and it's like always turn the other cheek. Oh, don't never let somebody. But it's like at a certain point you got to put your foot down. You know,
right?
In situations, even with your family or whatever. And it's like church. It's just not. A lot of it is a scam. You know.
Sometimes, absolutely.
A lot of that shit is a scam. You know, and we've heard stories about pastors. You know. Talking shit about people that go to the church that may have money but don't give much in the collection plate and all that shit, and then it just it's just like it's politics, bro. Oh, yeah. I feel like music is the only pure. I've said this before. Is the only living pure politic that we have, because it's all subjective and it's all subjective. You know, it's all about your personal experiences like that. So it's there when people talk about music and shit like that. If you know about music, they don't talk about shit that they don't know because they haven't heard it or whatever, you know. Right. Unless they're just trolling or whatever.
For real, people go online just to say what.
But for religion and for government and all that shit, it's always incentive. It's always a hidden agenda, hidden incentive. Yeah. You know, maybe not everybody in their organization does it, but it's like, you know, even for example, shit. When I was coming up, I grew up Jehovah's Witness, and my mom, she was going through some issues. My dad was being abusive, blah blah blah. She told the congregation, they didn't do nothing, and it's like she expected them. I guess this is a step in or whatever, but you know they talked to him, blah blah blah, and it was just some very passive shit. And
they expected them to work it out.
Right. And and it's like, but at the same time, she should have went to the police. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that, and it was more than that. Like my dad was on drugs and shit like that, so it was a little more to it, more than just that. But yeah, though, like it's just situations like that, and it's just crazy to see. But yeah, though, damn, do we even?
We even what?
Jesus Christ, super song. Did we talk about it? I feel like
Dude,
I feel like we went left a little bit.
Just a little bit. We were talking about our religious association.
Yeah.
The people know a little bit.
Yeah. And it was super dope how the whole whole play started out, because it started out with Judas singing and worrying about what other people think, even if he thought Jesus, what he was preaching was real and true. He was like, oh, we all gonna die, blah blah blah. But it's like it was just so crazy seeing all these. I don't want to get too much in it, but seeing all these, too quick, but seeing all these people dance and praise Jesus and be like, oh, is this enough? Is this enough? Can I go to heaven now? And it's like, motherfuckers didn't understand the lesson that Jesus was trying to teach them. It ain't just you're good right now, and you can sin the rest of your life. You're going to heaven. It's like, it's not that. It's like faith is an ongoing thing every day.
Yeah, and Judas felt like Jesus was letting it get out a little hand himself too, and that he himself was not letting him be treated as just a man, like he was letting himself be treated like a prophet, you know?
But was he not, though?
He kind of was, you know, I mean, you watch him, you know, they fan him, and, you know, she
rub
puts
his feet, all that shit.
Rub his feet, right, the cloth on his forehead and all this shit, I mean, they are.
But what else are you supposed to do to God's son, though? Like, you know, just to play devil's advocate, or so to speak, you know?
Yeah, but I think Judas felt like, you know, at the start of this, you were more chill with it. You said you were just a man, and now he was starting to believe that he was, you know, not just God's son, but like greater than. You know, he was, and Judas felt like, you know, all this money could have gone to the poor, could have gone to help other people and shit like this, and that he was allowing people to spend their money on him directly.
Yeah. But I feel like even if Jesus would have did what Judas said, like, Judas was a great example of no matter who you are, where you are, if you're seeing success and if you're touching people in a positive or even negative way,
You can't please everyone.
you cannot please everyone.
Yeah.
No matter how many miracles you show them right in front of your face, no matter how many, you know, sick people he helped or whatever, or the one loaf of bread for 100 people or whatever, fish, that story and shit like that. And it's like somebody will always doubt you, and at the same time we can't even comprehend. Like Jesus said it in the we can't even comprehend, you know, what this whole shit is, or God, you know.
For real. I mean, that whole, like, that's fair, because we give God all of these human characteristics, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And it's just, I gotta lie. It was just so deep. I loved it. Like, I really loved that shit. Like, I would watch that again. Because so many things happened, and then I remember we looked up the budget of the shit. It was like $3.5 million on that shit.
Yeah, but they made $24 million.
Yeah, but they probably that was caked up, and then it was just crazy that for that to come out in the '70s and for it to resonate, it's obviously a classic because every single song on that bitch was amazing. It was kind of wow. It kind of reminded me of Donda in a way. Because it wasn't just singing the whole way through. It was a lot of breakdowns, beat switch-ups, and it would just be that. And he would just use other people's voices, put it in the beat. And that's crazy as fuck.
Christopher Lloyd Wright is a huge writer, so I would understand if, you know, even Kanye took a little inspiration from some older stuff. I mean, everybody gets a little inspiration from somewhere. I don't even think that would be crazy. I mean, that shit was a classic at the time, and if Kanye's trying to do, like, a spin on that, he might definitely want to hear a different take. I mean, it is a completely classic kind of different take on the story.
And it's interesting. Like, not many stories about religion and Jesus are interesting. You know, they be like, oh, you gotta live like you like. I love, like you said, they put their little twins, their little spin on it.
Yeah.
And that shit is dope and very brave, I guess. You know.
Absolutely. I mean, dude, especially with the whole, and I know it's the 70s, but dude, they were more than happy. He was more than happy to do something brave with it, and especially then when it turned into a movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it just starts out as an album, and then it gets fucking picked up, I think, a year later.
Yeah.
Turned into like a movie, starts getting stage productions done too, like.
And that just shows you how strong that is.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Normally, I'm guessing they will be made around the same time, or the movie will be made first. Then the music will be based off. That's what I would be guessing as a consumer. But they did it the opposite way, and that shit was amazing. Like, really, really eye-opening.
Yeah. Trying to think of how to, like, say my words right now, man. Mm-hmm. But that shit, it's definitely a classic. I mean, dude. Should not give me this in words some days, man. Some days. But it is eye-opening because that was one of, like, the first productions that really got me interested
in religion.
in religion and in the story and stuff like that. I mean, I like musicals and shit like that, you know what I mean? Like, I like funny musicals, I like comes to some serious musicals, like, hear me out. There are other ones, like Book of Mormon, where that shit's funny. I mean, it's these two guys in Africa and shit, and they're trying to convert him and all that shit, and it's like, it's going sideways and all this shit. There's malaria around. You know, it's like a funny, they still got funny musicals and all that shit. I feel like the classic musical is just, you get a motherfucker up there, they're singing, there's some sadness, there's like a kiss or some shit. It always feels like just another fairy tale on stage, you know what I mean? And this shit really takes that and is like, nah. I mean, the whole way with getting Judas up there, a black man in the 70s as the first singer, while it may have been being done at the time, you know, that was certainly like a big thing. For sure. Especially with like talking about religion and also like talking about Mary and how she's like a prostitute and all that shit. I mean, it was bringing stuff up. It was not afraid to attack every character. You know what I mean? Everyone kind of got shit on a little bit. I mean, Jesus got praised and he gets shit on. Mary gets praised, but she also gets kind of shit on, you know? Even with Judas, I mean, you really get to see them all as people.
Yeah, and that's why I really love that they started it out with Jesus' point of view. I mean, Judas's point of view first. Him alone, just saying, this is how the fuck we feel. And he made a whole lot of sense, man. Like, normally, like I said, normally when you go to church or whatever, they teach it one way. Oh, Judas was bad. He da-da-da. But it's like, he wasn't completely bad, you know. And he had some solid,
too.
And he had some solid points, even though this he had some solid points.
Hell yeah.
It wasn't all, you know, because it's not bad to question shit. Like, that's something I noticed, too. Like, in the Bible, they make it seem, well, it's bad to question shit. Don't question shit. But fuck that.
Right. And this story shows, I mean, clearly Judas had his regrets. You know what I mean? He felt bad. You know what I mean? And so the whole idea of teaching Judas is only bad is almost like, nah, take that as a lesson and learn, you know, not to attack people just for your own gain.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he thought that by getting Jesus arrested he would be helping him, he found out that shit did not fucking help. That was not what he needed. And maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I guess we'll never know. But I guess Judas found out that he felt like that was pretty fucked up to do.
Yeah.
After watching how Jesus gets whipped and all that shit.
Well, yeah. That shit crazy.
Yeah. But
that's probably one of the only things of religion, because I ain't gonna lie, even some of Kanye music, I can only like go back to, even the album Jesus is King, I only listen to one song on that bitch like repeatedly, because it's like, I'm not about to be blasting like gospel music, because first of all, it would seem fake of me to do that, because I'm not that devout of a, you know, worshiper of anything. So
I wanted to ask you this: what'd you think of how Caiaphas was portrayed? Because
the king,
yeah, because even to me, like, or like he was like one of the first guys with the charm on. I guess he was like a king, but he had like the amulet thing on. Right. You know what I'm talking about? And that was kind of like the guy who was almost like, how do you feel almost humanizing them and making them feel like they were forced into that situation too a little bit? You know what I mean? But they brought it about, and also the people were revolting and shit.
That's the thing about hierarchy. First of all, no mindset is ever going to be monolithic, and ego is the thing, and power is the thing that makes men think that, oh yeah, we can control everything. That's why there's been world wars. It's like, oh, fuck you. You think you better than... Nah, we about to take you down, and we're about to show you'll never even try this ever again. So it's like, you know...
Hell yeah. And then when they try to question him, he kind of presents his ego a little bit, though, too. You know what I mean?
Oh, Jesus?
Jesus, because, like, he goes up there, and they're like, come on, man, just show us something. And he's like, that's what you say. You know? To them every single time. Every time. Like, we hear you're king of the Jews. That's what you say.
Right.
You know, I mean, even he's kind of flexing the ego a little bit, almost like, yeah, you've heard of me.
Of course, though. I mean...
So, I felt like they were humanizing him a little bit, because it was almost like...
Of course, like, and I like they missed a whole bunch of other stuff and other accounts, but, I like the fact that they had the scene of Jesus coming in and flipping over the tables in the what's that called? In the trade place.
In the market,
yeah,
yes.
in the market.
He goes into the market, flips over the tables,
Yeah.
destroys all the property,
They
and
was
stops the
charging-
prostitutes and shit.
Yeah, they was charging. They was doing the bullshit, charging too much for the shit. And he was like, yeah, he was like, this isn't what I want. You know, this isn't what God wants, basically. And yeah, man. And it's really interesting. It had me reeled in the entire fucking time. Like that is it's spectacular music and just the the lip syncing alone, bro. Like, damn, they murdered that shit. The sweating, the dancing, along with the singing or the lip syncing. But yeah, it's like,
Yeah, man's kind of dancing through the marketplace while he's destroying.
Right?
It too,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It was. Everything happened to a beat. Everything was. It was so tribal and it was so amazing just to see that.
Right, even while Judas is talking shit, you know what I mean? They're all dancing around him. It's literally like a display.
Yeah, whether they agree with him or not.
That shit might need a little help. But you got him.
Help is on the way. But yeah, though, man, I really liked it, and I would recommend that shit for real. Jesus Christ Superstar. If I ain't say it clearly till now, it is what it is.
There you go. Which you give it? Like out of 10?
Good question. Bro, that shit. I would say.
It's that big brain question. Simple but needed.
Oh man.
Hell yeah! You mind if I start?
Go ahead.
I got you. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. Okay? Maybe even a 9 out of 10. Maybe like an 8.5 out of 10. Okay? That's where I'm gonna stick with it. 8.5 out of 10. So you can do halves and shit. But my reasoning why is pretty simple, but also just like, I love the fact that it's a fucking musical. You know, I like musicals and all that shit, but I shouldn't just give it a high score because of that, you know? But it's the way it tells the story.
Right.
That shit's fucking amazing. You know what I mean?
It's a point of view that I haven't even seen many people do, especially in cinema.
Absolutely.
So it's classic of that and the music, already like the whole rollout. Like
it's long.
Like
honestly.
I ain't gonna lie. I understand why you said that. I think I'm gonna say like a 9.
I think my only problem is with some of the scores aren't like, I feel like some of the singing, like
it's weird.
Is a little weird. You know what I mean?
Because the words that were used and it was hard to understand.
It can be hard to understand, and some of the singers, like, I ain't even trying to be like that, don't have like the greatest voice.
True.
You know what I mean?
But at the same time, like it gave you context clues. You know, like with even if you didn't catch every word, that's what's dope. Like that's something I even like about rap. One of my favorite rappers. Like sometimes I don't understand what he's saying, but it's the melody and the inflection on the voice that make it fucking dope. You know?
Fuck yeah, for real. But that shit had $3.5 million put into it. I was like, man, y'all could have done a little bit better. I was like, the audio quality could have been a little better.
Yeah.
But because like I could tell it was lip syncing. You know what I mean? But that shit was pretty good though.
They killed it though. It was never a point where I thought, oh no, you fucked up right there. You know what I'm saying? Like
they kept making them
the dedication
shit.
and the dancing, like bro, they did shit that even actors like James Spader, like niggas don't even do, like trying to sing along with.
That's fair. Those scenes were pretty fucking solid for dancing, lip syncing, and like having to do one take type shit. Like destroying that whole marketplace. I know that was a one take event, because if not, that would have pissed me the fuck off, bro. Yeah. You think so?
Yeah,
you think
bro.
they redid that?
Bro, he was dancing and shit. Like, bro.
Fuck, I would have been pissed.
Everybody
like, all right,
dancing.
redo that shit.
Bro, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like I said, that's one of the things I said when we finished watching it. Imagine all the deleted scenes and the bloopers we ain't never gonna see on that shit. Imagine how much money they can make off that shit. That would be crazy. Because especially now, bloopers are better than the content now. Because it humanizes the people, and it's like, oh damn, they don't get it perfect all the time. Even the skits or whatever.
Sometimes. Here, 1 second. I ran away from that shit. I needed this. But yeah, I like bloopers and like short clips and shit where you can like go through and like.
Yeah, I remember fucking DVDs, man.
Like shit that lets you get to learn the actor. You know what I mean? Like, yes, DVDs, because they on the Harry Potter shit even. You used to be able to go on there. You could pick like Daniel Radcliffe. You could like actually watch them and see them and like learn about the person behind the role. And that shit was always like cool as fuck to me. Cause I was like, shit, like these little kids British as fuck.
Especially if they got an accent. Yeah, that shit is always weird to see. And it's dope. You say your first language and damn bullocks or whatever the fuck.
That shit's funnier when they have like the American kids doing the British accent though, because some of them would come out and then it'd just be like, "Hey guys," you're like, "Oh, what the fuck?" They'd be having them do like the childish accents. That shit's funnier with the new Spider-Man movies and shit,
right? Where
you got that one guy, literally Spider-Man, who is British, but they have him do a New Yorker accent.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But I don't like how they kept changing fucking Spider-Man. But I don't know. Maybe Toby was done with it. He was like, bitch, I'm not going to make it better when after he made those three, you know. So.
Those ones were memed on so hard, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's crazy because people, it's like, damn, motherfuckers just realizing it, but I guess everybody in the world don't know about it, so. Yeah. But yeah, though,
I just felt like the Andrew Garfield ones, the ones with like the pretty boy and like they had like the hot girl or whatever. That shit was like way more serious.
The one after Toby Maguire?
Yeah, right after.
Tall one, yeah. He only had like one movie. I was like, damn, like.
Yeah, like one or two.
I kind of like them.
Confused.
I really don't like the newest one like that because he's such a bitch, you know.
So spoiler alert, that movie was made like 8 years ago, but if y'all haven't seen it. They killed MJ off really quick, and I feel like that pissed off people, and then like they never made
then he was
another
fucking
one.
with Gwen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro. MJ is low key a bitch in every single one of them. Like, she like Peter Parker is a simp, like for her, like honestly. So, I like you got to like the little switch up and shit like that.
It was about, like they killed her ass. She snapped her neck, bro, from that web, and I was just like,
oh yeah,
yeah, bro.
Oh yeah, damn! I remember that shit.
And they never made another movie after that.
Yeah, I don't know. You know how that shit go. Actors and contracts, and maybe they're working on another movie directly after. So who the fuck knows?
So they're saying they might be getting them up in this Marvel universe now, with like all of them possibly, and possibly having a multiverse of the Spider-Man.
Yeah, they're gonna have to cut that check though. For sure.
Those motherfuckers are gonna cost some money to get back, bro. Hell yeah.
And for them to get back in that acting shape, for that particular shit, for sure. Who knows what's been going on and shit. But yeah though, shit. Let's I'm gonna talk about Joker.
Okay.
What were your I'm gonna get you. What were your initial feelings after watching it? The Joker movie.
Dude, honestly, my initial feelings, it's funny, because that movie makes you relate so much to this fucking weird-ass motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting there, I went and watched this shit with friends, and I'm still sitting there like, man, yeah, bro, it's so hard out here, bro. Because it's like, I don't know why, it just, like, it makes you feel like, yeah, bro, I've been through that, or shit like that. It makes it so relatable at these little moments and shit, with, like, the job, and, like, with just how people on the street treat him and shit like that, you know what I mean?
Random kids and shit.
Hell yeah.
It's like, it was crazy because he was trying to do the right thing. He was trying to go to social services, get his medicine.
Right.
Because he had issues, you know. He had dark thoughts and shit like that. And there was so many things piling on. The therapist wasn't even listening to him. Every week he'd come back, she asked him the same questions, and then it's like, right. Motherfuckers didn't care.
And then they canceled his treatment plan.
Right. And they canceled the whole department. They cut the whole funding and shit.
Right.
Like that. And it was that. And then his mom ended up lying to him and shit like that. And I was just like, wow, like.
She was crazy though.
Yeah. She really had mental issues. She thought Thomas Wayne was his dad. And then he literally didn't know who he was. He tried to be He tried to go from a a kid's party clown to a real comedian, and motherfuckers just shit on him. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
And it was like everybody. He was a good person, trying to be a good person. He was trying to suppress his bad thoughts, but everything literally went wrong in his life, and it was like, fuck, bro. I can't even be mad at you. And everybody he killed has shit on him, beat him up, tried to take his money, or, you know, low key, like, I wouldn't even say deserve it, but.
Dude, shit. He went from daytime clown to real comedian to motherfucking leader of an anarchist uprising.
Right. And then on top of that, he imagined having a whole relationship with his neighbor.
Yeah.
Like, he imagined that whole shit. Like, having sex with
dude,
her.
I thought that shit was real.
Yeah.
For like the longest time, I thought like, damn, man's finally getting that shit.
I thought too. I thought it was funny.
Walking down the fucking street.
I thought he was funny when he like after he got over his shit when he was on stage, but he was imagining that.
I know, bro. Yeah, she wasn't there. She was never there.
Yeah, she was never there. He was never being funny. He got up on stage, but then they recorded his ass and played him, and then he ended up shooting the dude on TV. Like, that shit was so. It really humanized him, and it was so dope to see that. And then he had contact with fucking Bruce as a young boy and shit like that.
I know. That shit was...
You can't blame him.
No, that shit was kind of cool, though. No, and then you get to watch his parents die at the end, too, right? Don't they get... I don't remember.
He was adopted.
That's right.
He was adopted. His mom...
No. They were coming out of the theater. Or
whatever. Oh, yeah.
And Bruce Wayne's parents die at the end of this one, too.
Yeah,
so
that's classic. I was wondering... I know it's probably DC, but I was wondering if they was going to do the Pearl shit, because the Pearl, that's always a good...
They did the Pearl shit. I was about to say, I remember they did the Pearl shit. Yeah.
Like, both of them. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, that shit was kind of interesting. I'm really interested to see if they're going to do something else, if we're going to get, like...
Nah, bro. I think they should leave that.
You think?
You're not going to top that. You're not going to top that. Motherfuckers is always itching for that next check. Like, honestly, if Squid Games don't come back, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I know for a fact that they're going to... Yeah, it's too much hype around it. But, bro, bro.
I have a big feeling that, like, they might do something with the Joker, too. It made a lot of bank, bro.
And do what, though? If you fighting Batman again, and then we've already seen that.
Nah, we don't want to see that. Now, what I'm interested to see is him, like, we see him leaving the asylum at the end of Joker 1, right? Mm-mm. He's like,
he killed somebody.
Oh, yeah,
and then they grab him. Yeah, he was getting chased around.
So I'm interested to see, like...
But, you know how that goes. He gets out, he goes back in, he does crazy shit. We've already seen that, but we never seen the origin story of Joker.
That's what I'm saying. I'm interested to see a little more origin story. You know what I mean? Like, we've never seen a before Harley Quinn, all that shit, you know, just him kind of like... This is even still before him in the mental asylum, still just as a patient after all this shit would still be interesting. That's a really different story. This isn't him in Arkham Asylum. I mean, this is just him in some mental ward.
Right. It probably is Arkham Asylum, though.
Do you think so? You think that's supposed to be Arkham?
Yeah, it probably is.
Maybe.
Because that's how the story always is. He breaks out, you know.
Oh, but Arkham's on an island.
Oh, well. It didn't even show him getting transported there directly. It just showed like a picture of him in it, so who knows?
Who knows, though? That's fair. That's fair.
Either way. But even if it was Arkham, they don't do shit, but they drug him up, do experiments to him, like, you know, they're so scary.
So wouldn't that be interesting to see if, like, even more fucked up shit, or, like, what if, like, he tries to do some redemption shit, or maybe he's, like, not the final Joker or some shit? Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. What if someone else, like, what if he dies in it and we realize he was never the same Joker that Batman faces? And then it was someone who takes on his... You know what I mean?
Nah, that'd be lame, bro.
You think so?
That would be lame.
There's other Batmans where they've done shit like that.
Nah, that's lame.
Yeah, where there's like 3 Jokers and shit like that.
Yeah.
That shit's weird. But just hear me out.
That's when they get fucked up, man.
He's got all these like apostles and shit wearing like the Joker mask and all that shit. Like, what if someone like just becomes crazy, like obsessed with him?
Yeah, of course, but like... even in real life, in every single situation, like, in some countries, like, they don't even publish the name of mass shooters because they don't want to bring attention to it, you know?
That's fair, but wouldn't it be interesting to see someone so obsessed with the Joker that they become the next Joker?
No.
No?
I would not like that.
Really?
No, bro, because he killed that shit.
That's fair.
He killed the laugh, like, he killed he killed it.
That's fair.
I do not want to see somebody fresh. I don't care about that shit, no.
That's fair.
Fuck that. I just want, he can have some henchmen and Harley Quinn, that's it.
Well,
fuck that.
You ain't gonna be happy because the guy from Twilight, you seen the new Batman shit?
What?
So, you know the guy from Twilight? The
The
vampire
wolf?
guy? No,
Yeah,
the vampire one.
Yeah.
Edward Cullen or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That motherfucker is the next Batman.
Oh, no. That don't surprise me, because even with shit like 007, he's been black, I think they was talking about making 007 woman at some point.
Let's put him in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Yeah, shit like that, like, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah. Joker is, what would you think?
What would
1 out of 10. Because for me, that's a 10.
Out of 10?
And
that was a 10 out of 10 for me.
10,
Just because it was so
10.
perfect. The dancing in the bathroom and shit like that is so iconic. It's just so...
It's just, it really shows you, because I know some people in my family, like, shit, my stepdad, he's schizophrenic and shit like that.
Yeah.
And he's had episodes and shit like that, and it's like, I can never understand that because that never goes through my mind. But seeing that's a very good depiction of what somebody could be going through, to a small degree, of course.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, like, fighting urges, hearing voices, thinking you see and talk to people when you're really not.
Bro, that shit's depressing as fuck, bro. That shit
He
can
was
almost break
poor.
a person.
It was like, damn, he tried to do everything right.
Honestly, taking care of his mom.
Had dreams. She fucking lied to him. He didn't even know who he was, so he can't even get mad at him killing her, smothering her with the pillow and shit like that. And another thing, like,
That shit was crazy though.
I could relate to it too, because like, even to a small, like I said, a small degree, but in my life, even when I hear about bad shit or something bad happened to me, sometimes like you laugh. It'd be weird, but sometimes I have a good laugh.
People laugh when they get uncomfortable. That shit's a like normal reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, but whenever I be hearing about somebody I've heard some people like died, and I'll be like, damn, how they died. And I would think it'd be funny how they die and shit like that. But it's like, and it's other shit like that. It's like I can relate to that shit to a different, small degree and shit.
I feel that shit. I know the laughing thing takes it to another level, and even makes makes you feel bad for like him laughing. You know what I mean?
But
because the Joker's laugh is iconic, right? I'm dying over here too. And so they really took a spin once again with all the spins and shit, but they took a spin on it with like, all right, everybody hears that Joker laugh, and it's like supposed to be like iconic for him. But what if you feel bad for him with the laughing? You know what I mean?
But the thing about it is, even he felt bad for it at first. But then when he embraced it, he said he stopped hating himself. He started living life. He felt good. He said he thought he was going to be remorseful after he killed the first people on train. But that was, you know what's about to happen. That was about to rape that woman. That was about the most death. That was drunk. That was about to rape that woman sexually and saw her in some way. So if he hadn't got beat up and then eventually killed them.
Well, and then the way
definitely got raped.
They got depicted in the news the next day.
Right.
As
just because they work for Bruce Wayne.
As saints, because
that's
they
another
work
thing.
For
Yes.
Bruce Wayne.
That's another thing. The power, like the hierarchy and shit like that. And then the fact that, damn, bro, like.
He knew he was fucked because even though they kind of deserved it, he was done with the way that the news had depicted them. If anything had gotten found out further, which I think they had because the police were trying.
And
to
it was dope
him.
that they didn't make him a fucking politician. He was like, no, I didn't do it for that. I did it because they were assholes. Yeah, I did it for me. They were fucking assholes. They deserved it, and I don't feel bad about it. And I'm gonna kill you on your show. That shit was hard. That shit. But
that guy was treating him like shit. But the thing about it is, the whole time he invited him there to make fun of him.
The thing about it is, in real life, they would have cut that shit as soon as he said the first joke about knock knock. Your son is dead. You remember that shit? Yeah. In real life, they would have cut the whole program off.
You never know. Maybe that motherfucker might have been shocked. Like, what if someone had heard that and was
the conversation would not have went on that long.
Nah.
Hell no. Not on live TV, bro. No.
No, he would have been like, shut that shit down.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, the whole point is, like, Gotham is crazy and people are all about their, like, their own vibe. So I almost feel like in Gotham it would have happened because that guy's so cocky that he would have been like, yeah, this is great for TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if it's not allowed on air, he's the kind of guy who would have
That's
been
the reason why he was asking so many questions.
Yeah.
So you don't feel bad about it. You know, he was trying to act like a saint. Oh yeah, oh wow, but bitch, you know what I'm saying?
Even though it wasn't cool, he was like, oh, this is gonna get me ratings,
yeah.
Right? So I think even if it wasn't allowed, I think he was pulling that shit out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think he was expecting that at all. I think he was, once again, like you said, making himself out to be the saint.
Yeah.
Everyone
you
who had
people.
power.
You're not good. Fuck you. You know.
Yeah.
And it's like, bitch, you make fun of people, you know. And at the same time, maybe he didn't deserve to die, but you don't never know how something you do or say affects somebody else.
That's just
so many different faces of the movie that it just turns you to a different perspective.
Arthur had Arthur, right? I think so.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah. Arthur had realized the Joker. He had the moment he realized that guy was making fun of him.
Mm-hmm.
He was done, bruh. Because that whole time he was like there. Because remember, he was so excited.
He looked up to him like because that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be on that show and be accepted. But and that's another thing. That's another thing it shows you. It's another lesson. You can't conform to what other people are doing sometimes because there'll always be a hierarchy. Always be nepotism. Always be John. He's been with us for 30 years, so he we'll stick with a personality like this or thinks like this. Never nobody that thinks outside the box.
Until they get a better candidate and they'll throw some guy they have out there for 30 years away, you know what I mean?
Right.
Someone always gets stepped on.
It's always an inner circle of higher power. Always. In religion, church, anywhere that people are appointed power, there's always abuse of that. So.
And that's the thing is that there's still like saints because what am I supposed to do? I didn't give them a job.
Mm-hmm.
But then when those people do whatever they can to get a job, people look down on them.
Right.
You know what I mean? They deny that guy a job, make him unable to work now for like 2 weeks or something, or the next week until he finds something to do, right? Whatever. Nobody bats an eye, right? Motherfucker goes door to door looking for a job. Everybody's staring at him like he's crazy.
Yeah.
Like he's not the one who's actually out there trying harder.
Exactly.
So. Yeah, I was really into the way that they were depicting the whole capitalism and power shit. Because I don't even normally be getting into that, but I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Even when I can think about it now, like, they was low-key doing that in a smaller way on the kids show, but you had to really be looking at it so you see it. You know, so... It just, damn.
That almost and friends should have had with the times.
Right. And it's funny, Batman used to be, is one of my favorite superheroes, but it's so funny. I've heard so many jokes like on Instagram or whatever. Like Batman ain't nothing but a billionaire beating up on homeless criminal type shit.
Okay, but it's true because, like, hear me out. I ain't gonna be that guy. How fucked up is it to be like, I bought this kryptonite. Hey, Superman, we could fight.
Yeah.
We could fight.
Right.
What you gonna do? Like that's how he acts every time. And if Superman's coming after him, what does he do? He hides in a kryptonite chamber.
Yeah, exactly.
He kind of a bitch.
Yeah, for sure.
Like some days I get it, because he with dead ass.
He has to overcompensate because Batman is probably, I think, the only superhero in the Justice League that can't fly or some shit. You know, like Batman, he gotta have an air crash. He gotta have a car that turned into a bike, that turned into a fucking aqua suit. You know what I'm saying?
So this kryptonite shit, I read that it like makes him feel like he's got cancer and shit, right? So when Batman like gives him this shit and it's just like fuck you, he dead ass is like fuck you, have some cancer, bitch.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he can't walk. He's like on the ground. He's like like dead ass.
But yeah,
that's pathetic.
It's funny though. It's crazy. I always looked at the Batman because he didn't have superpowers and he was doing all this shit. But damn, you are motherfucking right. If you look at it a different way, them motherfuckers is broken Gotham. Just like how it was depicted when Joker was that shit. Motherfuckers just doing random crime. Everybody was hungry for money. Motherfuckers going out of business. and the poverty line just getting higher and shit like that.
Oh,
It's
God.
like, damn.
All I want to say is give Superman a sword. Give this motherfucker a sword. I always see him use them fists. Imagine if you made like some crazy strong sword out of like Captain America's shield or something. Done. What is Batman gonna do with the money now?
And shit, did you watch Batman vs Superman, the movie that they made?
Yeah, and he's got like that metallic suit and shit like that.
Yeah, the big. Yeah, who won? I forgot.
Neither of them, if I'm right.
Oh, they just beat each other up.
They just beat each other up, and then they be talking about each other's moms and shit like that. You were adopted by like a Martha? My mom was Martha. And I was like, no, kill him. Yeah. And then, oh no, and then like Batman kills his ass anyway.
Yeah.
And then Superman rises from the grave.
Of course, you can't kill Superman.
You can't kill Superman. Batman,
you can't kill Batman either. Yeah. And it's so, I don't know, I guess.
Batman cheated though, if I'm right.
Yeah, but he has to cheat. Who can beat Superman in a fair fight, bro? What is a fair fight?
Oh, God. You could go to, like, Planet...
Stronger, faster, got laser
I feel dumb
eyes.
as hell because I brought up Captain America's shield medal or whatever as a different, like... As Marvel. But... Shit.
Damn, you right.
But... I meant to say, like... They got, like, planets and shit where they got, like...
Yeah, of course.
Stuff, and he can't, like, go to, like, Tamaran and shit where Starfire's from and all that shit. Apparently they can't breathe on that bitch. Yeah, so there's certain planets where he can't breathe and shit.
But he can't breathe. But he can breathe in space, though.
I don't get that shit.
All right, nigga can't breathe in space.
Maybe there's like some sort of like metal in the air or shit that he can't be breathing in, or like I thought it was like
it makes sense though.
They were like it's the nitrogen or something on the planet. It's too dense for the lungs.
Yeah, because like there's some planets we can't even land on because it's made of minerals or some shit. It says planets made of diamonds. Like I did a podcast about that like a year or something ago. It was like, yeah, something. But yeah, though, last but not least, what was the shit we was talking about? Joker.
So we had Jesus Christ Superstar,
Tales
Joker,
from the Hood.
Tales from the Hood.
Tales from the Hood. What was your initial, what's your feelings from that? I believe, if I'm not wrong, Spike Lee directed it. It came out in 1995.
I'm gonna just look that shit up. Find out who the director is, because that shit was really good. I'd get that shit. Honestly, that shit can get like a... I feel bad giving that another 10 out of 10. But it had me feeling all kinds of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's just because that was my first time watching it, but that shit was so good. Yeah. Directed by Rusty Cundiff and produced by Spike Lee.
Produced by Spike Lee. It was like, and it's so crazy. My sister, she put me on. I went over to her house one time,
yeah,
and then we watched that, and it was just so crazy. Like it really emphasized on two things for me: how deep and far back racism goes, and how it still continues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For certain people, and how much black people have been caught in a like crab in a barrel situation. And when they believe they got to kill people and rob people and do wrong to other people just to survive, and it just continues in some and not even just black people. That could be taken in any like somebody said. I was listening to a podcast. They said you show me any poor area, and it's probably going to be subject to high crime no matter what color you are. You know, poor people, they just want to get money and they'll do anything to get money because they're literally starving, you know, or homeless or whatever. So it makes sense.
Absolutely.
But it's just like, damn, like the correlation between the racism shit. Like we doing, if you are here starting beef with anybody or murdering anybody or having anything to do with that, you just repeating the cycle of what the racist people eventually want to do to you. You know, the extreme, whatever, you know, Proud Boys or whatever, you know, KKK members. And it was just so crazy to see that dynamic together.
That shit deadass made me feel different about fighting. And spoiler warning, because anybody who has not seen Tales from the Hood, it is 5 short story like films put together, basically, all told together. There's like, they are all linked, and it's so fucking good, But the way it starts out from the get go, I mean, because it's 5 short stories, that's why it's able to put you through all those fucking emotions. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because each story starts off and it allows you to have hope for that next character, but shit, no spoilers, but I guess where it starts, it really shouldn't give you any hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I really liked the painting from the when he died.
Hell yeah.
That the mural, that was super dope.
Hell yeah. There's a mural of a woman.
That was amazing.
Old woman who had.
No, I mean in the first one.
Oh.
Not the last one. You remember with the police officer?
Oh shit!
He ended up getting shot or ate by the dude that they killed when on the year anniversary.
That's
yeah,
right.
and then the other dude he went to the crazy house, and everybody else died because they allowed him to die and shit like that because he was a black person in power and they didn't like that.
Yeah.
And it was and when the last white officer that had something to do with that died, the dude that died had a mural, and he got shot or whatever or killed,
Right.
and then it was the officers fucking shit on the shit, and I was like, damn. Just the art and the attention to detail, that shit was dope. And then you add on to that with the dogs and shit, the possessed dogs.
Yeah.
It's just so many different angles and shit. It's like, wow.
Honestly. Fuck, I'm gonna just get into it, but man, all these stories, they start off in the fucking in a funeral home basically.
Right.
And so like you always know some shit went down for the story for it to have happened. And there's one with these dolls, and it's an old plantation house. And it's got this big painting in the master bedroom where it's this black woman who had bought the plantation to free all the slave souls. And this white guy bought the place and the souls were not happy, man. And that shit was crazy. I guess that story's kind of interesting when you link it to the rest of them.
Oh, man.
Because that's almost the one story where it's just like, I don't know, I was about to say where it didn't make as much sense, but no, it's totally about a political message because this guy's a congressman.
And he was a ex-Klan member.
How did you know he was an ex-Klan member?
Said it.
Really?
Yeah. That's what added on to it. Like he already had a racist past.
Shit.
And he's living in that house just to, you know.
I fucking missed that shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That shit's amazing.
Yeah. But this man,
amazing.
He knows how to spit out the N-word and every little fucking derivative that comes with it. Oh my god, that shit was crazy watching.
Yeah.
And the souls were not having it because this man got what was coming to him, bruh.
1995.
It was interesting because he was pretending to like live in this black community as a way to get black voters and trying to act like, no, I support the community.
Mm-hmm.
When he was living in a fucking old plantation house, bruh. I bet you that man, he was just like, I like this place.
Yeah. It's so fucking deep and intricate.
Yeah.
Then you got a point of view like of a children and of a child and shit like that. It's wow. It's just so. It's really like
that one got me. That was about it in the home.
Right. I said this a little while ago. Like I feel like any youth that's out there in trouble and shit like that and going down the wrong path that will lead to some shit that happened in that movie need to most definitely watch that. Cause that some of that shit was exaggerated, you know.
Yeah.
But some of that shit is most definitely real. Like some people, they just believe that their circumstance allows them to do whatever. It's like, oh, as long as I'm alright, fuck everybody else.
But with the exaggeration behind the story of the child, like it shows the fear. Mm-hmm. Same with like kind of story number 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That guy goes through his fear, and I'll get on that in a second. But like, you know, to me, the reason why it was like over exaggerating it, showing like a monster with claws coming
mm-hmm.
through the doorway, like while this kid's like he's hiding under his covers, he doesn't know what the fuck is about to go down. It's to show how scared he is, you know, and who's really coming in is his stepdad, but it just shows how terrified he is and how you know, his stepdad is like a fucking monster to him. How he fears him just as much as the boogeyman, you know.
And he got the monster tattoo.
Yeah.
On him. So that it was deep, like.
Right. That fucking burned it into his head for him. You know what I mean? Seeing that monster tattoo, he was like, he really is a monster.
Mm-hmm. And even to go deeper, like I really disliked that the mother didn't do anything about a dude putting his hands on her and the child, like beating him. He would show up to school with marks on his body and shit.
And wanted him to not talk about it.
Yeah, like that that makes me wow, bro.
When the teacher brought up the monster.
If it weren't for the teacher that had concern about the child that was coming to school, he could have ended up dead. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, that's just real. Like, that shit really fucking happens.
But when the teacher asked about the monster, she got his ass in that room and was like, don't talk about it. Like, even though it was
like that was gonna make it better.
Right?
But at the same time, I've never been in that situation. I've been a woman.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only thinking of a perspective of a man, so you know.
Okay. But dude, the teacher came in clutch because he's the only one that noticed the kid was getting
the only one that cared.
Bruises before school.
Multiple bruises.
Oh yeah. But the whole time you think it's this monster. You think it's this monster until like you can kind of start to guess that it's the fucking stepdad who's been beating on him, and the stepdad is the central monster to the plot.
Exactly.
And that shit's crazy. But the last story is honestly, that one was my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The first one was really good. The first one's the longest. But I guess I don't know if I would consider it the last story because like a little more happens towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
But like the last story that the guy tells, you know what I mean? That shit hit. Where the guy is the criminal and he is in that deprivation tank. And it's crazy because he's a black guy and he's in this self-deprivation tank, so he can't hear, he can't see, all this stuff. And he starts like seeing all the people he killed, and they're all like,
some of them were innocent. One was an innocent little girl, and there was like 20, 30 people in that room, and they was asking him, why did you kill me, kill me? And it was just, and he had no remorse for it and shit like that. No remorse about everything. She was like, wrong place, wrong time.
They were like comparing him to the KKK, how they lynched black people, and how he was like going out of his way, or like how gangs went out of their way to singularly kill black people too, make men feel the same way that they felt at that time.
Exactly. Instead
of like working together, and that shit was crazy. That shit made me feel some kind of way about fighting and shit in general, because it was just like, damn.
It's really, I look at fighting as, bruh, that's a last resort.
Oh God,
because it really don't need to come to that for whatever reason. Like it really is a last. I don't mind doing it, but it's not needed most of the time.
But the doctor in the psych ward goes off about how he has taken away these people opportunities, and that shit made me feel some kind of way. Dreams.
How many people you killed and
that shit was crazy. Yeah, and how a lot of them were even just about, like, people who he thought were talking shit and all that stuff, you know.
Somebody that was short on money.
Honestly.
Like, some money was worth his life. Probably wouldn't know big money, but, you know, he was, I couldn't let you punk me. And it just show you the mentality of a hardcore gangster.
Yeah.
So, I've never thought that was cool, even way before I saw that shit.
Hell no.
I never thought being in a gang and having a monolithic... that's why I'm not drawn to religion like that. Having a monolithic... Oh, you need to do this and eat only this and... Like, nah, bro.
Fuck all that, right? Nah. But that's the shit, though. It's like... Some of that shit really kills me, though, because they get young men wrapped up into that shit. Yeah. And it becomes a cycle, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but honestly, when you think about church and stuff like that... It's not really young men. It'd be like kids or mothers or whatever. But the church is really like magnified. You know, being like I said, being a pacifist and shit like that. Not being, not really congratulating you for being masculine. And that don't mean being an asshole.
Yeah.
But it's just like. But I understand
that shit does not value you for being you.
Yeah, and it's like. It's very quick to judge and shit like that,
For real. I've never liked the whole And I know it's...
And how you gonna judge me if we all sinners, though?
That's the thing, but you're supposed to be able to ask for redemption, which is what I was about to bring up. Is I don't really like that, is that you can just go and, like, let them know, and your sin is forgiven, and you're just supposed to let it go and keep moving on with your life. Like, I really feel like some issues are not walked away from that easily, that simply. You know what I mean?
Like what?
Like, hear me out. If you kill a man, and then you go and you confess, right? You confess your sin of murder. And then the Father is like, alright, you know, you are forgiven. Go live your life.
I don't think it's going to be like that. I think they'll call the police.
No, they do not. No, and
I feel like if you don't...
Are you serious? The church does not like the police.
But I feel like if you don't call the police when you know somebody's done some shit, you can get charged.
Holy shit, have you ever seen how the church... Yeah, and have you ever seen how the church asks... When, like, police try to come in and arrest someone, they get pissed, bro. They're like, he is safe here. Nah, dude, they be a little crazy with it.
But of course, though, some of them are fucking little boys, so why would they want the police to be there, you know?
No, don't.
Not all
forgiving him his sins. Like, yeah.
Nah, that's bullshit. Nah.
For real.
But I don't even know. I wouldn't even want to be put in that situation. To be receiving it. Oh, yeah, go ahead and tell me what you did. You know, in little boxes. It's weird. Isn't that a weird thing?
Yeah.
I guess it's for you to be anonymous.
Shit. Sometimes it's better for you to let it go and think about it later.
I don't know, though. Shit, ain't that what therapy is?
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah, it is. Exactly.
Except all they do is be like, oh, you cool. You know, they don't be like, oh, well, you need to do this to not do it again, you know. So
hell no, dude. My therapist, and I'll let all y'all know, I go to therapy. I think everybody could use a little therapy. Absolutely.
Because we all should.
Everybody could benefit from it a little bit, be it learning about relationships, be it learning about friendships, you know, everything. You know, even how to deal with family correctly. It's really helpful. You got that shit? But, you know, no, dude, some days I'll tell my therapist how I did something, and she'll be like, nah, that's not the right way to do it. And some days she's right, you know, like, it's absolutely not the right way to do something.
Yeah.
And that's why I think therapy is cool. That's why I'm going into, like, psychology and all that shit, because absolutely not. Sometimes you just got to tell someone and let them know, like, you could have done better, you know? Because it's like... You got to hold.
But that's half the job, and that's something I realized. That's half the job. Because even when I was a little younger, I wanted to be a therapist, but I'm not a fan of school and shit like that. But and I'm not really good at that format of learning. But damn, what was I about to say? Oh my god, bro! I want to be a therapist.
Talking about like.
Oh yeah.
Wrong with
that's half the shit. Like, cause I be trying to be like refuge. I don't know. I be trying to help people like with common knowledge and shit that I know, but they gotta absorb it, and that's really more of the shit. You can tell it like, and that's all I really like that old saying. You can lead a horse to water, can't make him drink. That's true. You gotta be willing to be open minded and try different shit. And most people aren't. Most people are sheep.
And that's low key. That's what some of the school like helps teach. I've known my therapist for like a while now, so she can just tell me how it is, and I'll believe some of the things she tells me, right? Because the things that she has helped me learn and grow from have worked in the past, right? So when I go back and I talk to her, I'm like, yeah, I can trust this woman. You know, I can trust this person to give me good advice, and so I'll listen to it just straight up. But when I first started, and like with a lot of people, when you first start, like. Hell no, I ain't gonna listen to this person. You don't know them.
Right.
You know, who the fuck is this person? You know, you judge them by their appearance and all this stuff, because first appearances are everything. And so it's just like, it takes time to build that relationship where you can just start telling them what's wrong. But there are ways to recommend to a person like, okay, but have you ever tried doing this? Because like people will, when you go to a therapist, like, you're gonna tell them like, well, what don't you like about that situation? You know what I mean? Like, what don't you like about that outcome? And you'll be like, man, they were fucking yelling at me, or man, like, we got in a fight, a big fight or something, you know? She'll be like, well, were you, like, quick to judge in that situation, you know? Like, maybe, like, and they'll ask you, And you can just be like, hell no, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And she'll be like, well, have you tried coming at it? And they'll just try to help you come at it at a different angle. Have you tried it dealing with the situation differently? And it's recommendations at that point, you know?
Yeah.
The more you get to know them, the more like that shit works. The more you'll be like, yeah, I'll listen to this person, you know?
They gotta build credibility.
Right. But when you're first learning, it's recommendations, and they're asking you questions after question after question, and then trying to figure out the situation, trying to help you with simple problems to understand, you know?
Yeah.
That shit can be pretty cool, though.
Yeah. I wanna get in therapy. It'll be dope.
Dude, it's fucking dope as hell, honestly. The other thing I feel like people don't know is, like, just because, like, one therapist isn't for you, every therapist believes something a little differently.
Right.
It's like going to a dentist, you know.
And I feel like therapists should go to therapy.
Fuck yeah, dude. I agree.
Does your therapist go to therapy?
I think she does.
Ask her that. I want to know.
Hell yeah.
I want to know. Ask her that.
I will. I'll ask her. I feel like some of the other people from her building, now they're doing like online teletherapy and shit right now because of COVID.
Of course.
But that shit sounds funny, teletherapy.
Right.
But I feel like she talks to like people in the building, and I feel like they do each other for free and shit like that. Oh yeah. That shit remind me, I gotta pay my therapy bill. Hell yeah.
What are you carrying? They do not work for free.
They do not.
Yeah.
If you got insurance though, like that shit's only like $10 each session, which is pretty nice. That's North Carolina standards.
That's dope.
Hell yeah.
Wish I had insurance.
I'm sorry, bro.
But nah. Tales from the Hood. Did we rank Tales from the Hood?
I rented it, yeah. Rank it?
Yeah, from 1 to 10.
I gave it a 10 out of 10. What do you give it?
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
10
Everybody, it was such an original, and it's so crazy because maybe you haven't. I've seen so many hood movies, so many Training Days, Boys from the Hood, all this other shit. I've seen a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
And that storyline is always so repetitive, and it's always similar. But this one, it took that same story, flipped it to a whole different angle of the narrative, and shifted your perspective like 5 or 6 times with every story.
My God, bro.
And still had the same narrative in every single story because it just shows you the raw nature of humans when they're left to their own devices, which we are.
Yeah. And shit, the cycles that we've been repeating for so long.
Oh my God. No matter how big or small they may be.
Even with that systemic racism shit, bro, that shit, I will say that shit will have you feeling a little bad just because, like, shit, it makes everybody feel like they're a part of the problem, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But, yeah, it's not about everybody being a part of the problem. It's about the people that continue to perpetuate the problems, stereotypes, and you know, and don't have an issue with it. You know, because not every person for any race is bad. You know, not every person in any race is racist, but there are some people who do that, and there are some people that use that racism for power and other stuff. So it's not everybody. So I don't agree with all those.
Everybody was like, it's everybody. Hell yeah. Like, it's all men, it's all police officers type shit.
Yeah, during George Floyd shit, I saw videos of white people kneeling for black people. It just made me cringe so bad. Because that's not what reparations look like. That's not, that's not what that's what Martin Luther King or Malcolm X fucking wanted. That's not what they were fighting for. They was fighting for other civil equality. White people don't need to be like, I'm so sorry about that shit. Just stop perpetuating the narratives.
And then
treat people like humans and just have conversations just like how we have it. Because I literally feel like most of the world's problems can be solved just by having dialogue and conversation with somebody.
The George Floyd shit has made me think on so many different angles. Because hear me out. On one angle, like, if you hear stories and read stories about him, he wasn't a good person. And like so many people have used that as a reason not to respect the way that, or to like not listen about the story about the way he died. You know what I mean? And I think that that's wrong too. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's really weird because like it got out of hand on so many levels, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because for the longest time I was like, shit, maybe George Floyd shouldn't be represented. But then I was like, just because he wasn't a good man, that doesn't mean that the way that he died shouldn't be paid attention to, and doesn't mean that there doesn't need to be some changes. You know what I mean?
Because no matter what articles we read, whatever, we don't know what happened in that man's life personally, and he
exactly.
And they took a father from a daughter, a brother from a sister, or another brother and shit like that. So no matter if it was an asshole, death was not the public.
Right.
Especially
it does
public,
not disqualify the fucking events that went down at all.
Sure. But George Floyd is the only one we seen him shoot black people in the back that were running, and it's been more situations, you know, way more situations, playing drugs. We've seen situations like that, and George Floyd, it was just the biggest one, because like now I'm even at the point, honestly, like if it's even a video with any police interaction, that I'm not even watching that, because I know how I've seen too much of this shit. I've seen people fucking die. I've seen way too many fucking murders on camera and shit like that. Especially when it comes to black people, because there's nothing. I know it happens. I know I can't avoid it happening, but I just don't want to see that, because there's nothing I can do about it. And I hate worrying about shit I cannot fix, you know. But the shit I can fix is, you know, having dialogues just about the topic regardless, you know.
I feel that.
Just because, like I said, like if we all just could sit down at a big ass table, have something to eat, have something to drink, smoke, whatever, do, and just talk.
That's why.
If we could all just talk and open a dialogue, then we will realize that we're more alike than we are not, just because we look different.
And once you think of like the defund the police,
like I said, I feel like the tensions were high with that shit, and a lot of people, I don't know, just like Black Lives Matter, bro. A lot of people were slipping in, even with the Black Lives Matter protest, and breaking shit. And the news was trying to make it seem like that's what it was, and a lot of people were doing that. You know, not everybody under one thing, like under one government, is gonna think the whole same thing. Some people, they think, oh, police shouldn't exist. That's on the extreme. I believe that the reasonable argument under defund the police is take some money and resources toward the police, and make sure that there are people that can go and help with certain situations, like de-escalating it. Maybe it don't need to be somebody with a badge and a gun. Maybe it could be like a social worker that has help with maybe a mentally ill person, and it's like, oh, the police, they're not gonna know that immediately. They may just think of somebody with autism or whatever as just being aggressive, and you know, somebody could die, you know, but that's a specific situation. Or just put money in these areas so we do have that connection, you know, with the police and stuff like that.
Money towards police training.
Right.
Those motherfuckers need to go to school longer.
That's your too. I was listening. I think I heard something about Germany. And I think I'm right. Germany over there, in some of the police, they have to do 3 years of training of conflict resolution before they can even be a police officer or a CO or something on the prisoners. I don't know if that's countrywide over there, but I believe I heard about that a little while ago.
That's pretty fucking cool.
That's very fucking smart, because if you think about it, like it's all the school systems and the prison systems. They're all set up the same. You eat when I tell you to eat. You can pee when I tell you to pee. You walk in lines and shit like that. You know, so like it's crazy, because school really teaches us how to have a 9 to 5, and how to go to fucking prison. You know. Because people are getting rich off prisons, and then we got privately owned prisons that are owned by people. That's insane, dude. Like, that's literal illegal slavery. Like,
we literally do not rehabilitate people, because I don't understand how taking away pissing and eating privileges from a person teaches them how to go be a good person. It just makes them scared to go back. Like, to me, the whole point is to scare you not to go back? Well, what about the motherfuckers that don't care and enjoy fighting and eating up in there for free and all that shit? Healthcare.
Free meals, you're right. And that's another thing. You're right.
They have to pay for snacks.
A lot of people are institutionalized so much to where it's like, damn, I don't even know how to live on my own. I don't even know how to get it. I don't know, you know, because I've had shit done. And that's the thing, like, prison is meant to break you. It's not meant to help you get through. Oh, you can do it. Or you seen somebody get murdered, but oh yeah, 2 times this week, and motherfuckers is right. You seen motherfuckers that fuck raped and shit like that. That changes your mentality. You literally have to change your mentality. Like, and it's sad, you know.
There was a European,
and it's crazy because I was just talking about Chris Hansen and shit Chris Hansen and shit like that, and with my mom or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's really crazy because motherfuckers that meet up with what they believe to be 13-year-old or whatever, they only get like probation or 1 or 2, maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
But a murderer will get 25 to life. A drug dealer will get 20. You know what I'm saying? Will get fucking 3 times the amount.
Sometimes it's funny how the ways that the other thing is lawyers will spin things and crime rates and shit. Like statistics are really proven that black people are statistically, there's a much higher chance that they'll get more time. Like statistically proven, there is a chance that black people will get more time. Like if a white person goes and kills and does the same crime, there's a chance that a white person will maybe only get 15 years to a black person's 20 years.
Right.
And that shit's crazy too. If you look at like,
it's not crazy because it makes sense. All these laws that are going down, and I'm not saying there ain't no hope, but all the laws that were made by old white men that owned slaves. So what the fuck do you what do we expect as a people?
I'm like, it's the same fucking crime though.
Yeah, but it's different though. It's different. And it's crazy because some groups that have been done wrong or whatever have got reparations. You know, I believe the Jews, they got some type of reparations. Yeah, I believe there have been other groups. You know, they say sorry, but you know, at this point,
we've done a terrible job with Indian reservations.
Yeah. Oh yeah, didn't. I don't know. I just researched.
Or Native Americans, excuse me.
Yeah, the
that shit's crazy, bro.
It's funny though. It's just funny to see people interact.
Yeah, sometimes people just be fucked up for no reason, bro.
It's funny though, but it like I said, as long as there are people that can just move past that and just do different shit, like bro, it ain't, humanity isn't fucking doomed. That's for fucking sure. We're not doomed. We're not doomed. And like I said, there's no monolith. There's no one thing that you can be under. Be like, oh yeah, I go for everything in this because it's like you're being blind to everything else. So.
For sure. Oh shit. I was thinking, with the whole rehabilitation thing and shit, how we treat our prisoners and shit. Mm-hmm. They got like in other countries, they literally have like jail towns. They have these motherfuckers work and like make their own meals and shit like this and learn how to be like good people and shit like that. And if you fight, you stuck there for longer.
Right.
But like it's different. Like they have to work to get money and shit like that. There's no free meals and shit like that. You have to go to work but it's like in a closed system.
Right.
So the only prisoners are fucking with prisoners, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's actually seen to like rehabilitate them better and shit like that.
Yeah, because they got a job, they got a purpose. Because in prisons, like you can get solitary and just be stuck in your cell for 23 hours or a day or whatever.
That shit is terrible for anyone. No one does that benefit. In my opinion,
the government, benefits the people that's getting money.
I guess. For real, because they be getting paid for every prisoner they got. Yeah. They're like, word, that's one less prisoner we gotta watch today.
America is probably number 1 or up there. And military and jail people and, repeat felons and stuff like that. I know that for a fact.
We have a very militarized institution.
Oh yeah. We spend... Bruh, if you ever just have the news on, sometimes they talking about, I heard like $17 billion this year. I'm like, god damn, like, and that just be on a specific project. They spend way bread, like crazy bread, on the military, different wings, different departments. Nigga, we got the Navy, the Army, the Marines, like.
Oh God, but these prisons look like shit, bruh.
Yes. And they give them bullshit food. They want to, bruh, they flipping their investment. Just like an iPhone, bro.
Yeah.
A Chinese kid made that for 2 cents, and they selling it for 1,000. Maximum. It's greed, bro. All this is greed. Social media is built. I heard somebody say that it's built. It's designed off one of the 7 deadly sins. You know.
Oh yeah.
Envy, all this other shit. Sex.
I mean, hear me out. The whole idea of like Instagram and all that shit is to get you to keep coming back. You know what I mean?
It's to train your mind, and they've done a great
job.
job. It's really for I guess ad space.
Yep, because that's how they make their money mostly. And then with like promoters and shit like that who can promote items and shit like that.
Right.
So all of a sudden you follow someone with one of those check marks and they're promoting like a Red Bull or something.
Then you get
they can get some money out of
that.
that.
Get an ad on YouTube later.
Ad, right.
We talk about it.
But
Coca-Cola.
For them, they're just like, they're happy to see people scrolling through and liking and all that shit. Because every like means that someone viewed the ad. Or a view means that someone literally viewed the ad. We got the Coca-Cola. The Apple.
And then they faked it. And then it's gone to a point where niggas be faking shit. Like they said, 6ix9ine, after he got out of jail, he was faking the streams and shit like that. And but the thing about it is, I think when it came out, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm faking it," but all these other they faking it too. So it was like I said, that's something I understand and I realize about life. Life comes and goes, and cycles are opposite.
Yeah.
What was cool to the next generation is the opposite is cool to the next generation. So. And it just keep on going. Tight clothes, baggy clothes, all that shit.
Oh God, we even be doing that with names and shit.
Yeah. Like we may never hear, or maybe it take 20 or 40 or 80 years to hear somebody be named Gertrude again, you know, or Mary Lynn or Mary Ann, you know.
And now these people naming their names like fucking
crazy shit. Moon.
Hey, Moon Star. Hey, floor mat.
Waffle. You know Curran Frost?
Yeah.
His daughter's name is Waffle, bro.
Bro, how about like names like East? Naming your kid East.
Right. But that's kind of cool, though.
East is I, but like, that's just a direction, man.
But it's kind of dope, though. Especially with Kanye kids. I think one of his kids named Northwest.
Yes.
That's kind of dope, bro. That's kind of dope.
I can't, man. I can't. Because I'm just
Northwest?
But that's just like naming your kid like Turtle.
I guess. I guess. Tortuga.
What's good with you, Cone? What's good with your weed? I named y'all that because those are my favorite things.
Word. Yeah, nothing surprised me. If something I learned about this generation, nothing ever will surprise me, ever. You remember the dude, that black dude that was on Facebook Live, the bald dude, and he killed the old man?
Yeah.
Because his girlfriend broke up with him. Man. Yo.
That's crazy. That shit.
Nothing will surprise me.
No. Nowadays, people feel like they can do whatever they want, which is another crazy thing. Because we got too many people. We can't really, like, maintain everyone, like, teach everyone. You gotta think about that. There's, like, 8 billion people to keep up with.
But, I think it's only, like, 1 billion people that got Instagram and Facebook. So think about that.
That's crazy.
Everybody on the planet is not on Instagram, bro. The minority is, but the minority is still a lot, though.
That's crazy.
It's still a lot. All the famous people you know, they got Instagrams.
That's true.
Whether they're running them or not.
Dude, that shit's kind of spooky if you think about it.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Makes you feel like everyone's up on there, but hell no.
All I do is look at dog videos on my Explore page. That's the only shit I do.
That's all you do with it?
Yep.
Let me see what I be doing.
Mostly. Because everything else be lame. Like, it be the same music. Motherfuckers doing a different dance to the same shit I heard a million times. I hate that shit. That's why I don't fuck with TikTok.
I be using mine for tattoos. I got a bunch of tattoos, jewelry, and memes.
Are you gonna get another one soon?
What's up?
You gonna get another tattoo soon?
I'd just always be looking at tattoos and stuff. Maybe not soon, but I'm always looking to like add more.
I still haven't got mine yet. I don't know, bro.
I'm only doing the left arm right now.
I feel like I'm gonna get bored of it though. It's gonna be dope, like for a couple months, but like everything I get, like, bro, every single thing except for weed, everything I get, I'm like, oh yeah, this is dope. Like I got a new mic for my recording shit, but then it's like, like I get bored.
That's why you gotta do something that you like gonna fuck with, like. For
Yeah,
like,
but bro, I don't, bro.
Like what do you think of the TV?
It's dope, but bro, like in 3 years you gonna be like, oh yeah.
I had this thing for like 2 years now.
Right.
I still like it.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're gonna hate it, but it's just gonna be like, okay.
Yeah, it still reminds me of like TVs and computer games and all that shit. That's
right.
what I'm saying. You gotta
I'm not
get
saying
something.
I'm not shitting on you. I'm just saying in general.
No, dude, you good. That's what I'm saying. You gotta get
saying,
something that you gonna fuck with for like a long time.
Yeah, but I'm just saying me though. I know how I am. Everything I get a new toy. I play with it for a week. And it's like, I don't care about this shit no. You know,
that shit.
I've always been like that ever since
I feel that
kid.
shit, bro.
It's weird. I don't like it. That's why I got hobbies and shit like this.
I feel
That's the only thing that keeps me coming back.
Then you can do like a mic. You can do like, I don't know, man.
That's why you gotta have hobbies. If you ain't got no hobbies, you lost. And I can't fuck with no bitch no more that don't got no hobbies.
Hell yeah.
That was probably one of my main issues. Almost all the bitches I fuck with don't have no hobbies. And if they ain't got no hobbies, they gonna look for you to create their happiness.
They sit on Instagram for 8 hours a day, and now they're waiting for you to
they gonna look
change
for
their life.
you to make them happy. You should never depend on nobody else to make yourself fucking happy.
Change my life, mister.
Because that's a lot of fucking pressure.
I don't know what that fucking accent was, but...
Are those, when you get in the sun, glasses, translucent, I think that's what it's called. When you get in the sun, do they turn the shades?
Oh, dude. I don't know. I'm going to get those. Muhammad said he was going to give me a pair.
Yeah, I did that. I had those like sixth grade. That was kind of dope.
But if you don't give me a pair, I'm going to probably get them.
Bro, you should. They dope.
Yeah. Muhammad brought them up to me. Muhammad's the one who was like, dude, they've got these translucent.
Bro.
And I was like...
Especially in the summer. You could only just wear them in the summer.
And he was like, I'm going to get you a pair. Because I'm going to get him a plane ticket to come here.
Hell yeah.
And that's just going to be like $400 for the back and forth or whatever. So he was like, I'm going to get you a pair. And I was like, okay. But if he's capping, I'm going to get myself a pair. So I'm going to wait to find out if he was capping or not. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. So, let's see. I get that shit. What'd you get the first one? 9 out of 10?
Jesus Christ Superstar, yes. You said 8.5.
You gave it 9. So that's like...
And then we was talking...
So we gave everything like a 9
no
out of 10.
cap. No, but I ain't gonna lie. All them bitches, I recommend all the movies. All of them motherfucking movies. And if we ain't talk about it enough, I'm gonna put the names of them shits in the description of the whatever. But yeah, them shits was amazing. Like, and I rarely watch movies. I'll be on YouTube.
Oh god. I just be watching fucking... I know you say you don't like cop shit, but I be watching like crazy shit, like anything. Like people talking to cops and all that shit, and like their weird ass experience. I be watching about.
I used to watch. Damn it! It was something on Netflix. It was a cop shit. I guess 60 Days In. I used to watch that.
Yeah, that's really I be watching that.
But it was some other shit. I can't even think of it right.
Shit like that is interesting to me.
It was Drugs Inc. I used to always love getting high and watching drugs. It would scare the fuck out of me. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
But the people, they got them in like the dark and all that shit, right? Yeah,
they got the
no voice.
They're like, oh yeah, I've served more keys than El Chapo. You know what I'm saying? Like they be sitting there with a gun, an AK or some shit.
Yeah, I gave El Chapo a head. So they got the voice modulated, bro.
That used to be I'm about to go home and watch that shit. That used to be my shit. Damn.
Oh god, I feel that. But yeah, I feel that. I just be watching fucking whatever. So the fact that we've been on like this movie binge recently, bro. No cap, bro.
And they all been fired.
Oh my god.
All of them been fired. Like, damn.
Classics for a while at least. I was about to say classics forever, but man, check that shit out because those are gonna be classics for decades, man. Forever. Fucking for decades.
Like I said, we can end on this. I have yet to see a bad movie.
Oh, yeah.
that was made in the 90s, especially 1999. Oh my God, I've never seen a bad movie made in 1999. In the 90s, even the 80s, that shit is all fire, all amazing, and even the 70s because of the Jesus Christ. But not all of them, but really the 90s.
Dude, they had Blade Runner and shit like that back in the day. Yeah. You ever seen Blade Runner?
No, I heard about it though.
That'll be the next shit, bro.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to be the next shit, man.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
More to come.
More to come.
For a new episode, know you probably waiting. Plant a seed in your brain, let me pollinate it. And I'm not like the rest, I don't do the faking. You are now tuned into Bro Conversations.